We have a packed house here tonight at 7th and Elm Bar and Grill for the Indiana State Coaches Show. So great to have you with us, everybody. I am Luke Martin alongside head coach Kurt Mallory. We got a jam-packed show for you tonight. We're going to have Travis Reiner and Wyatt Harwood, two of the specialists for Indiana State, join us, as well as Ryan Stokes, the special teams coordinator. We're going to dive into Indiana State golf as well. Head coach Greg Town is here. Lauren Greene is here as well. Sycamore Golf off and rolling here in the fall. We talk so much about, Coach, how your program, it's the first time playing the fall since 2019. It's the same for them, being able to compete in the fall as well. Head coach Kurt Mallory here joins us to start us off. And, Coach, I know it wasn't the result you wanted on Saturday in Evanston against Northwestern. We talked about it earlier today in your press conference. But your team, after getting punched very quickly, was able to throw punches of their own late in the game.
Yeah, they did. You know, they stuck together. It wasn't the start we wanted. Of course, Northwestern, give them credit. They jumped up to a 14-0 lead, and I thought after that our defense settled down, played pretty well. But, you just can't give a team like that the opportunities to, jump up on you 14-0 and, of course, be able to, have the returns that they had on the punt game. But we'll get shored up, and we're getting ready for this next one so we can get back on track.
Well, when you go back to the Northwestern game and you think of those first three drives that they had, 189 yards through the first three drives for Northwestern. The rest of the game, your defense held them to 62 yards of total offense. I felt that in itself really exemplified what your group was able to do after getting punched in the mouth there early in that game.
They're flying around. We had some misfits. We didn't fit some things right. Had some missed tackles. But, they settled down. That's happened before with them. This is a group that's, not going to panic. And they definitely showed that on Saturday.
I know that wasn't a surprise. You knew your group would do that, even though there was adversity early in the game. I'm just sure as a coach still, I think Coach Schertz does a really good job, or Newman's basketball coach, talk about how adversity is truth serum.
Right.
You really find out a lot about your guys when you get put in that situation. Not that you didn't have those situations against Eastern Illinois, but when you do get punched really quick, that had to be just an optimistic thing of, this is the team I knew I was going to see after that tough start.
Well, what we talked to the team about all week was, withstand, when things are going good and when they're going bad, and they've shown that, when things aren't going our way, that we've stuck together. But when things are going our way, we got to take advantage of that. And you saw glimpses of it. But when things are going our way, we really got to, put the pedal to the metal and get going.
When you think of offensively for your group, you knew there were going to be things that you had to execute probably more on, knowing you were going to be without such a key piece in Dante Hendricks. Knowing you were without Dante, how overall did you feel the offensive game plan was and how you guys executed that on Saturday?
Well, I thought we left a lot out there. We're not that far away. We showed glimpses of it. There was times, really thought we were going to be able to move the ball, and maybe we stalled here and there, but we're not that far away. We're very capable. We've got everything in place to be successful, and we're going to continue to work to be that.
Anthony, and we talked about this also, in your press conference earlier today. Overall in the game, his numbers 21 of 34 in the game, 132 yards, a touchdown, didn't have a turnover, and you talk about and preach that so much. That was what was such a big bugaboo in 2019 for you guys, was turnovers. And so far through two games, you've done a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, we have. And we talked to the team about that. As long as we don't turn the ball over and create turnovers, which is what we're doing. Of course, we had one with a muff punt. But, that's what I told the team yesterday. Michael Hopper, I trust Michael. I didn't say anything to Michael. I said, get back out there and catch the next one. And I would do the same with any of our returners. But, that's going to happen. But, he bounced back and was fine out there. But, as long as we can keep playing, not turning the ball over. And, the other thing we're doing is we're not having a lot of penalties. We had 2 penalties on Saturday. We had a few, I think 4 on the week before. But if we can continue to do that and not hurt ourselves, we're going to be just fine.
The other aspect of that, too, when you think of trusting Michael, it also helps when your defense forces a turnover right after that. And that's what you guys were able to do to pick up your teammate. I'm sure there was nobody that felt better about that than Michael Hopper on your sideline.
Yeah, we were able to get one right back. And then, of course, had another one later in the game where Michael Thomas is blitzing off the edge and knocked their running back and the quarterback, and he threw it to Ty Hambright. So 2 big turnovers. We just, like I said, when things are going our way, that's when we really got to take advantage of it. That's the big emphasis right now, because things are going our way and how we're going to capitalize with that.
It felt like on the radio, too, I thought Coach Miles made a really good point. Kind of the wind gets out of your sails there with how it started. Mm-hmm. But you were in the game.
That's right.
Especially in that third quarter when you came back and had the football to start the second half. Did you feel like you almost had to remind your guys at all, like, this is only a 2-possession game?
Yeah.
You're 2 plays away from being in a tie game.
Well, that was, at the end of the game, we have the ball. And rather than try to do anything with it, let's just regroup at halftime. We had to go 80 yards. There's not really enough time to do much, but that was what we talked about. Hey, we're going to start off with the ball. Let's get going. Let's get something on the board and get moving. And unfortunately, we punted and they had a nice return, but our defense stepped up. Everything's fine. And then I'm sorry, that first one they resulted in a field goal, so they jump up 17-0. But we can't do that. We can't let them out with the return game and let them have big returns, because 10 points resulted in returns. And there was 4 big returns. 2 of them we stopped them. 2 of them they capitalized on.
When you think of those special teams plays, once again, head coach Kurt Mallory joins us. We are at 7th and Elm Bar and Grill, corner of food and fun here in Terre Haute. If you're out driving around, want to come by, get something to eat, and enjoy some Sycamore football conversation, come upstairs at the corner of food and fun here at 7th and Elm. But, to get to special teams plays, I thought this was staggering, too, and put into perspective. You guys offensively had 169 yards of total offense. Northwestern had 166 yards just on returns. Mm-hmm. And yep. I know that was a big thing when you went back and you watched the game. That's going to be an area that I'm sure you guys will focus on a lot this week before you get ready for Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Just came from meeting on that, and we're going to have more to go to. We got an exceptional punter. You're going to speak to him in a little bit. We've got an outstanding long snapper. We've got guys who can get down there and and cover the punt. We're going to get some things corrected, and by no means are we panicking, because we've got the right guys to get down there and make something happen.
Before we get to Travis and Wyatt later on in the show and talk to those guys, defensively, we talked about the start but then the response back. Where did you feel some leaders maybe starting to emerge outside of those main ones that we know, like an Anoke Mawala and what he brings? I know Matt Thompson led you guys in tackles, but it really seemed like all around the field there were many guys that were around the football and creating pressure.
Well, yeah, defensively, I've said it all along, we've got leadership in every room. And you're feeling that. Obviously Anoke and Matt Thompson have been standing out. Michael Thomas, you're feeling J.J. Henderson doing a lot more. Michael Hoppert is another young man that's really jumping out. And those guys on the offensive side, offensive line with Alvin and Isaiah have really done well. Zach Larkin's been outstanding. And now what you're seeing now, Dante has been out. You're seeing Ron Trez step up and really doing a great job leading. And then when you get in special teams, you got Travis who's doing an outstanding job leading, and Wyatt as well.
We didn't really touch up on a ton in the pregame show because it wasn't something we found out till really pregame when you were going to be without Mekhi Ware for the game. Mekhi, not COVID-related, just wasn't feeling well and had to stay back at the team hotel. I know that probably had to feel horrible for Mekhi that he couldn't even be at the stadium and he had to watch the game from the team hotel as the game was going along. But how do you think someone like Jonathan Edwards, obviously when Mekhi went down, that was really all right. Jonathan, you're a freshman, kind of going to get boosted up there in more of a role. He had a key deflection there on a 3rd down and long that forced a punt from Northwestern in that game. How do you feel a guy like Jonathan really adapted when very quickly you guys kind of found out you're not going to be able to have Mekhi play on Saturday?
Well, I talked to the team right before we got on the bus, and no one blinked. No one flinched. I said, hey, we're going to have to adjust some things. That's how this team's been. We've gone into this season knowing that things like this may happen, and certainly it did. So we talked right before we got on the bus, said, okay, this guy moves up here, this guy's going to go here, away we go. And that's going to happen. And, we just, Jonathan jumped in there and played outstanding. He probably got so worked up, he started to cramp a little bit. But, some other guys jumped in there and did a great job. They really did. Yeah. And But that's how this year's going to be, and that's how it's been this whole time.
And Ethan Hoover is somebody I know you guys are really, really high on, and somebody that's kind of been working back, getting healthy, and starting to get more reps there on the back end.
Yep. Yeah, Ethan started for the first time. Thought he did really well. The first play, he was one of the culprits that, had that missed tackle in the open field. But, he bounced back, played pretty well. And but we put him in there for a reason. We've seen him make plays all through camp.
It's your special teams unit, Wyatt and Wyatt's been here, it seems like, for 20 years.
Yep.
Had to learn from a guy in Josh Apple, who we'll talk about, who was an All-American long snapper. He comes in, has been very long-standing his time here. Obviously, Travis coming in as a transfer. Allen as a transfer, too, this year. But when you think of those two guys specifically, what do they mean to that special teams room? But really, more importantly, what do they mean to your team? Because those are guys that aren't just impactful within the specialist. They're very impactful in every meeting space that they walk into.
Yeah, these guys, they can play another position for one. And, I say it all the time, with Travis, he can play wide receiver. He can play defensive back. He was a great high school player, or a great wide receiver in high school. And, he can catch the ball, and you got to have great hand-eye coordination at that punting position. But we got him playing safety right now. And when I approached Travis about it, he never blinked. He's like, whatever I can do to help the football team. And that's how he's been. That's how Wyatt's been. Wyatt, on the other hand, used to always show me his highlight film in high school. And so he kind of poked me a little bit on that. So, I watched his high school.
He poked me too.
Yeah, he's poked about everybody. So anyone that'll watch it, but it's pretty good. I'll give him credit. But, I did the same thing. I called Wyatt, and I said, hey, Wyatt, we're going to be in that running back room. And, I have to kind of pull back Wyatt a little bit. I got on him the other day because he's getting more reps than some of our running backs when he goes down to scout team. And, but those guys are team guys. Their teammates know that. And you know what? The thing that you're always going to remember about those two guys is what kind of teammates they are. And, they're great players, but more importantly, they're better teammates.
Well, and the other aspect of it, Travis, it was great to see him and how he performed on Saturday. Just probably don't want to see him as much, right? That's one of those things where, he had those, 3 punts inside the 20-yard line, 2 of 50-plus yards that really helped put the defense in better situations. But obviously 9 punts, that's, the number you want to see go down drastically.
Well, and he had a huge one at the end of the Eastern Illinois game. And, that was a big-time kick. He had some pressure, and, he put it back in there. And now when you got him having to go 95 yards, 96 yards, that's a huge deal. So that was a big-time kick and a big-time moment.
You guys talk about being family, not just within your program, but I mentioned, Coach Town and Lauren Greene going to join us on the show later. You do a really good job, I know, of going to all the different programs. I know you built a really good relationship with Coach Town, and that's a man I know you respect very highly, and so many in our athletic department. There's a reason a lot of people flock to him to try to get some advice because of what he's done with his program during his time here in Terre Haute.
Absolutely. Coaches, I've been fortunate to get to know Coach and just how supportive he is with our program. He'll shoot me a text, good luck, and, I know he's always there behind us rooting us on.
No question. Look forward to talking to Coach Town and Lauren later on the show. But when we come back, we're going to take a break. Coach Malkin, what'd you get tonight? You got a wrap tonight?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so you can go. You can enjoy your wrap. I'm sure Lori's getting it ready for you there in the back somewhere. Take a break. When we come back, Travis Reiner and Wyatt Harwood will be our guests here on the Coaches Show, live from 7th and Elm Bar and Grill. This is Indiana State Athletics on 105.5, The Legend. We are at the intersection of food and fun. Jim Osborne is back in our studios, the DLC Media Center here tonight. It's the Indiana State Coaches Show, live from 7th and Elm Bar and Grill. Always a big thank you to Tom and Mary Hellman for all of their hospitality throughout the year. And it's a big show when Mike and Amy Alley are here. That's when it's VIP. And I'm sure a lot of it is because of who is also on the show here tonight. That's none other than Wyatt Harwood, long snapper for the Indiana State Sycamores, and Travis Reiner, punter, safety. I should have introduced you guys as safety and running back. What am I doing, right?
It could have been better.
It could have been better. I guess I got to introduce you guys by those positions now because that's exactly what you do. It's been kind of neat, Travis, to see you in a blue jersey every now and then.
I like it, and the team likes it even more. They always come up and say, "The blue looks a lot better on you."
I'm sure the guys that wear the white ones though probably aren't too fond when you have to put on the blue jersey though.
Yeah, it happens.
But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Both you guys, thank you so much for hopping on the show. It's been, I know it's been a long time for you guys to get back and to get to this moment. Wyatt, we'll start with you. You've been here the longest just within this program. How would you really describe just your process here at Indiana State from your first year here in 2016 to now?
Well, I really can't believe I'm still here. Like you said earlier, it feels like I've been here for 20 years. But, yeah, it's been a long road. Just thinking back to, my first year here and Josh Apple, learning from him and trying to just become the best long snapper I could be. And just really redshirting that year, and I didn't even really get any scout reps that year at long snapper. I just sat on the sideline and snapped to Andrew Lunsford, if you remember him.
Yeah.
Kicker. And then when Mallory came in, I'm not gonna lie, I did honestly think about telling him I was a running back, not a long snapper.
No surprise there at all.
But yeah, I was really glad when Mallory came in. I was kind of iffy when I heard that the coaching staff switched, but as soon as I met with Mallory, I knew I was staying.
What was it about Coach Mallory and that first impression that you had? Because you obviously weren't the only one. I know there were other guys that were holdovers from that team that, as with anything, right? You come here, you want to play for a certain staff, that staff changes. But what made you kind of calm and go, you know what, I'm going to stick this out. I trust Coach Mallory and his staff and what they've been able to develop.
He just seemed really trustworthy, to be honest. He just seemed like a really genuine guy, and I trusted him to take the program in the right direction. And I knew that he had all the best intentions for us and for the team, and that he was going to take care of us. And I think it was one of the first meetings he started complaining about how we didn't have any food, and look how much food we have now. He turned that right around. And yeah, he's capitalized on everything he told us he was going to do, and he's kept his word, and that's really the most important thing when it comes to anything is your word. So that's what I valued out of him.
Travis, for you being someone that's transferred into the program, you haven't been around 20 years like Wyatt Harwood, but now you're still a savvy veteran yourself. What has stood out to you just in your time here in terms of improvements from day one when you got here to now?
I think the biggest improvement from then has been my approach and mindset for the game and leading up to the game and going to practice and having a consistent routine and mindset to help my punts and just overall improve everything.
The part that Wyatt, I thought, brought up, which is a very good point, and I know it's something that publicly, I know a lot of folks like Logan Kidd in the back go out and tell a lot of potential donors, is the support of those people and what they've done in terms of the fuel station for you guys and the weight room and what that does for Coach McManus, what it does for Kellen Norris, what it does for all of those people for you guys. Travis, for you, how does that help in terms of your guys' nutrition and how those areas have improved in your time here to get those opportunities, because it's not like that everywhere?
No, definitely. And I think it helps with everyone, and it helps having a full balanced meal when you're going up to these practices, and you have to be prepared. If you're not eating the right things and having enough hydration and all that support that was extra, like you said, not many places have that. I think that's huge and allows us to even excel at a higher level with our performance.
Of course, your family coming all the way from California yourself, you would think it'd be hard for your family to be able to see you play, but your family's pretty special because not only do they make that trip, they actually stay here during the football season, correct? Tell folks, for those that don't know, and of course both of them are here front row, introducing your parents and kind of what they do to try to make sure that they can find a way to see you play.
Yeah, well, they have a nice 40-foot motorhome that they get to experience, and they travel all the time. And along with doing this for my sister, they travel across the country, come to our college, and they ensure that they can make it every game and support all the time, and it's awesome.
Does your dad still have the Beverly Hills motor cop vehicle that he would go around on at all? Does he still have that? Does Roger still have that somewhere packed away?
No. We have some memorabilia, though, for sure.
I'm sure. As I know, that'd be a cool job, of course, with my dad being a police officer, too, growing up. Both of you mentioned the athletic side. Why? I know you bang on the table and say, I'm a running back. We've joked about that. But, Travis, for you, really, football wasn't your main sport growing up. I know hockey was a really major sport that you took interest in. How big of a role was hockey for you, and what are some of your favorite memories of playing hockey growing up?
I think it was huge. It gave me a different advantage when I came to football because I began skating around 3 years old, and I didn't start Pop Warner till 5th or 6th grade. And they helped each other in sync. With my aggression on the ice, football came in and allowed me to be a better hitter. I'd always go after the biggest guy on their team, try to knock him down to put fear into the other team, so I'm not the biggest out there, but they know I'm going to hit the hardest. And football was huge with the intensity, the hitting, and, the team camaraderie. They both are huge team sports, and so I think they carried over.
Wyatt, I know you're a big advocate for not just Travis, but all of you guys in that special teams room. I know you started the Big Al campaign, right?
Yeah.
That's a big campaign going on right now, supporting Al and Selzer.
Yeah, support Big Al.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to use that on Saturday. I was hoping forward to it. We'll look forward to seeing that come in use on Saturday against Eastern Kentucky this weekend. But the jokes aside, I know Brain Johnson's been a big help for you guys on kickoffs this year, and I know Aaron Young behind you is always a character as well, Wyatt Harwood. But in terms of that special teams room for you guys, describe that dynamic, because I don't think many people understand what the specialists are like. I know Coach Smith says you guys go make Dairy Queen runs during practice from time to time. That's not true. That is, I can fact check that. But what do you enjoy most, Wyatt, just about the special teams room and you guys as a unit?
The camaraderie, honestly. It just feels like a bunch of friends hanging out. Like, we watch film, we take it seriously. Like, we're not just joking around all the time, but like, it's fun. Like, we have fun together, and that really brings us closer, and it allows us to do our job easier without like as much pressure, because we all feel comfortable with each other. So like, I mean, the support Big Al thing, that's a joke, but at the end of the day, it's true, because if I don't do my job and support Travis, he can't catch the ball, and then he can't put it down, and then Al can't kick it. So support Big Al is as much a joke as it is real. So.
Support Big Al. That's what every made field goal this year goes to the Support Big Al campaign. So I always enjoy making that liner throughout the broadcast. Wyatt Harwood, Travis Reiner, our guest here on the Indiana State Coaches Show as Indiana State gets ready for Eastern Kentucky this weekend. It will be a night game at Roy Kidd Stadium this Saturday night in Richmond, Kentucky. Guys, for you, I know you're able to all those different positions. We talked about you, Travis, putting on a blue jersey from time to time. Wyatt, for you, what has it been like getting the opportunities and reps at running back for the first time since your high school days, Mr. Marshawn Lynch?
Oh, man, I'm having the time of my life. It's really like I haven't had this much fun at football in a long time, and it's not like I didn't have fun before, but I get to go run around and pretend to play a different position, and it's a lot of fun.
It's one of those things why I tried to get out that you were going to be on the show as quick as I could, because I really thought, man, I'm going to see Betty Hartwood here tonight. She'll probably fly in and see you here in person. So I'm sure she's probably en route right now, still trying to get here, right?
Yeah, hi, Mom. She's I think if she knew before today, she would have been here. But she's definitely listening at home, and she'll be at Eastern Kentucky. She'll be at every game. I love to see her. So
no question. We'll try to improve the guest booking throughout the year and see if we can get more of a schedule going on. But guys, just kind of each of you as we kind of close this out, where do you want to see as a unit from you guys of a special teams effort? I'm sure, Travis, for yourself, you like to not go out there and punt as much as we kind of joked with Coach Mallory, but just as a team, where do you want to see a jump this Saturday against Eastern Kentucky?
Personally, just consistency. I've had a couple in there during the game at Northwestern that I would have wanted back, but can't always get them back. You just have to look at the next rep. So I think just overall consistency definitely is something I'm looking to improve this Saturday.
How about you, Wyatt?
Looking forward to this Saturday. I just want to keep building on. I feel like I've had I had one snap that I wish I had back, but other than that, I feel like I've played pretty well through the year, and I just want to keep building on that and keep making Trav's job easy. And, yeah, just so he doesn't have to worry about anything and he can punt the best ball he can.
I know you guys are just excited to just get back there. You know, we waited so long. I know the 644 days was – I was getting tired of saying it. And then you guys finally play, and you get a bye week, and you got to wait an extra week to play. I'm sure now for you guys, it's like, all right, now we're kind of in the midst of the season, right? You get a game, and now you can hop right back in another one.
Yeah, we even joked about that today in the weight room. We were all rolling out before the lift, and we were just saying it's so nice that we have a game next week. You know, like we just get to roll into the next week and get into that groove.
Oh, no question. Guys, it's been so great to get to know you, both of you and both of your families, terrific families that you guys have. I know you love them, and that's why they're here tonight many places. Thanks so much for coming on the show, guys. Always great catching up with you guys.
Always. Thank you for having us.
Once again, that was Travis Reiner and Wyatt Harwood. We will take a break here on the show. When we come back, it's time to talk some Indiana State golf with head coach Greg Town and Lauren Greene. You are listening to the Indiana State Coaches Show live from 7th and Elm at the corner of Food and Fun on 105.5 The Legend. Welcome back to the Indiana State Coaches Show here at the corner of Food and Fun. Big thank you to Wyatt Harwood and Travis Reiner for hopping on the show. We're not done with the special teams talk. Special teams coordinator Ryan Stokes will join us after we talk some Indiana State golf. Lauren Greene, Coach Greg Town join us here on the show. Both of you, thank you so much for coming out tonight. It's good to see both of you. How you doing?
Thanks a lot, Luke. Great.
Yeah, really good. Thanks.
Lauren, you know, I was able to catch up with you at practice just a couple weeks ago before the Redbird Invitational, which you finished top 10 in, by the way, to start off the year. Congratulations on that. Overall, how do you feel the start of the season was for you and kind of where you're at and where you want to see your game continue to evolve as you go throughout the year?
I thought it was a pretty good start. Lots of positives, but also I found lots of things that I can work on for the upcoming tournaments, and that was just like how I wanted it to start, you know.
Coach, you know, it was funny when I asked you about Lauren in your interview, right? Yeah, you know, last year all the coaches in the league, they're talking about all their top players.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we got Lauren. She's pretty good. She hasn't put up the numbers, but she's going to. What was it about that you felt early on, even when maybe the results weren't where Lauren wanted, but you knew the potential she had and why she's going to be so big for your team this year?
It's an interesting thing. First of all, thank God football season started. You can only hit so many golf balls and you start going bananas. But on the other hand, with Lauren's got a keen idea of where she's at. She also has big expectations, and I haven't pushed them on her. I've let her kind of discover that herself. And she knows what she's capable of, which is way better than what she's done. I think she's been in the top 10 every tournament probably in the last year. But she's capable of doing some really great stuff. So this week, actually, you know, I challenged her and the team to improve like a professional would and do the things you need to do. She knows the issue she has with her swing or with a particular shot she can't pull off. And she actually candidly asked me, she says, Coach, if you were going to be really mean to me right now, what would you tell me? And then I just let it go, baby. I was like, okay, let's go. And so it was a lot of fun, and she's going to improve even more. And the thing she's doing for the other kids on the team is that by being the best player and making the biggest changes in your game, like, why can't the other players do the same? And it's more of a gamble for her, so to speak. But she's leading that way and calling people up rather than calling them out, and it works. It's a fantastic thing.
Lauren, one of the things I really loved about your interview that you gave me a couple weeks ago was you're like, Luke, you know, yes, you know, on the course stuff is important, but it's what Coach Town really preaches in terms of the culture of the Indiana State golf program. Describe the culture for those that maybe aren't with you like you are in it every day. What is the culture that Coach Town has built and why it's impacted you during your time here, really outside of golf, just you as a person?
I think that we just see it's not just about golf. Like every day at practice we'll have talks about different things. And then we've just started reading a book as a team, which we usually do each season. And I think that's really good. We read about it, and discuss it and things like that. And we just discuss so many things other than golf.
Where do you feel personally you've grown the most during your time here, and where you go, man, like, I've improved so much just from a personal standpoint, and you credit really the program that you're in for that?
Yeah, I definitely think I've improved with my confidence, really, because I came here and I was like, I'm still kind of quiet, but I came and I was really quiet, and I've just kind of had to improve on that. And I came in with 5 seniors, I think it was, and now I'm the senior on the team, so I really had to take the leader role.
Honestly,
really.
Luke, she's milking the accent. I mean, it's like everything's quiet.
I was about to say, you got that Southern Indiana accent, right? That's where you grew up?
It's like, come on, man, let's go. I make her say bloody hell.
All the time.
Lauren, though, to Coach Town's point, you're one of multiple international athletes on this team. Of course, still going through this pandemic and the craziness of that. Is there any way you can even probably come close to getting words to describe what this time has been like, knowing all the different travel restrictions? Like, how often have you even been able to go home? When's the last time you were home in England?
Yeah, it's been crazy. Definitely not what I expected to happen. I was lucky enough to go home actually during COVID. I had many delayed flights, and even now, like coming back for the summer, my golf bag was in Paris and I was in Indiana. It was crazy. But
Coach, you brought up not just Lauren, but all of your international athletes and how that was such a challenge for them. I forget the exact number of how many days and really weeks, I think it was months, that they weren't really able to practice and weren't able to do stuff on the course. What has this time been like for golf in terms of those programs? Because that is a sport that is primarily going to have a lot more international kids.
So the interesting thing is the international kids practice a lot harder than some of our domestic kids. It's just a fact. It's their culture. They feel like this is a great opportunity for them, and I sense that that's what they do. And then to have Taiwan and Malaysia and England locked down where you can't go to the golf course and even hit balls, that's an interesting thing. So that's a thing that put us back a little bit, but it's not an excuse. We'll get back on it in a matter of a week or two. I mean, we'll literally, our practices are very spirited after our first event, kind of let everybody fail in the first tournament, which is maybe I'm the only coach that can do that because we have fall and spring. But, Lauren will even admit that I just let everybody be accountable to their level of training when they got here and where they were at. And I'm not going to Band-Aid them and help them out or read a putt to bail them out or something like that. So everybody knows where they're at, and, we're going from there. And I think we're going to get significantly better just by them knowing where they're at.
Hey, Coach Greg Town, Lauren Greene join us from Indiana State Golf as the Sycamores here at the Indiana State Coaches Show at the corner of Food and Fun, 7th and Elm. If you're out driving around in Terre Haute, come on by. We'd love to see you. We're here on the top floor. Coach Town, to expand on your tenure here, hired back in 2010. You came here after multiple years of being a professional, like 22 years of professional golf experience. You had 10 years of experience teaching tour professionals. When you go back, what was it about this job, this opportunity, that wanted you to get into coaching and coaching Division I college golf?
I don't have enough time to actually explain all that. It was very complicated, but at the end of the day, it was the people. We have more good friends here in Indiana than we ever developed in Florida in 30 years. And I don't mean that in any weird way, but it's more of a transient lifestyle there. And then when we came here and just meet, actually Mike Kelly was one of the first guys I met. We went and played golf down at Shoal Creek, I think, and had a great time. And then it's just gone from there. And there's just been so many friends that it's hard to imagine not being here, honestly.
Where are you most proud about where your program is at now to when you first got here? And I'm not just talking about what you do on the course. I'm talking about your program, the culture that Lauren talks about. But also, I know there has been more investment in facilities and getting more indoor spaces for your team to hit, of course, during the chilly winter months. What are you most proud about in terms of the support and everything for your program since when you first got here?
I'm probably most proud about my own personal growth from coming when I got here thinking I can just teach a few kids how to hit a ball and we'll be fine. And then when I found out that young women have all these obstacles and difficulties in college, and they're raising our next generation, it's just, I was like, okay, we got to retrench. And we started a big reading program. The book we're reading right now is Endurance. It's about Ernest Shackleton, 1914, getting trapped in the ice in Antarctica. We don't read golf books. We don't read sport books. We read books that are about adversity. They're about personal growth and those kind of things. And all of that just makes you a better person. You perform better on the sport field, whatever it is. And that's the thing that really surprised me the most, because I would have never really thought that would be the case. But as it is, and I'm sure Lauren would say, it's like that's the thing that you're most proud of.
Lauren, for you, when you think back to your first year here, I believe Tilda was a senior.
Yes, she was.
What was the biggest thing you took away from her, from somebody who, of course, when she left at the peak of being a Missouri Valley Conference Golfer of the Year? What was it about her daily habits, about what she did, that when you're young and trying to kind of learn the ropes, that you really latched onto, and you can feel now that you can be that role for some of your younger teammates?
I took a lot from her, just mainly her attitude and her motivation. And like, I first got here and she'd be at practice like 45 minutes an hour early, and like we'd have optional weights, and like that's not optional. Like, she told me it's not optional, like you'll be there. And yeah, she taught me a lot, her attitude mainly.
What do you hope, Lauren, that you can bring your teammates around? And as Tilda did that for you, what do you want to leave behind? You know, I know that's kind of a conversation I'm sure you have a lot within your team of what you leave up behind in terms of a legacy. What do you want kind of the lessons of Lauren Greene to be when it's your time to pass that golf club off to somebody else, when it's your time to go?
Yeah, I think I'd like to do like a similar thing that Tilda, and not just Tilda, all the other seniors, they were like a really big role model to me. So I'd really like just the culture of the golf team to carry on, and just the attitude to be great.
Coach Town, before we let you go, you and Lauren both, which we appreciate both of you being here. It's been such a joy to talk to you. Obviously, a big fundraising event is upcoming, the Couples Tee in October, going to be on Sunday, October 10th. I remembered the first Couples Tee. I can't believe this is the fifth one.
Yeah, right.
It shows they've been here for 5 years with you guys. I know there's a lot of people behind the scenes that help you out with that event, and those people that help you out, and also how people can be a part of it for those that want to come out there in October.
So it's October 10th. It's we call it a hit and giggle or whatever it is, but it's just the most fun ever, because we have pretty much half women and half men, and it's the opposite of what most of our outings are, where it's just a bunch of guys out there. And it's a great time. It's something that I didn't start early on when I was here, because I didn't know that many people, and I was involved in some of the other fundraisers. But I've realized that there's a lot of people that really want to help us, and so it's incumbent upon me to get that going. And we've got a group of, I can't even name them all, there's 10, 20 people that honestly live and die and help us every day. And I'm so thankful for that, because being a smaller program and a women's program, you need those kind of people, and it's fantastic.
Coach Town, not just appreciate your support for all of our teams, but it's always great for you whenever you're out on the road and you'll shoot me a text being like, listening to you.
I'll listen to you instead of watch TV, because I love listening, because you go insane. I got to turn the volume down.
Just a little.
A little, but it's great. So yeah.
I really do appreciate the support, Lauren. It's been great to get to know you during your time here as well. Thank you so much for both of you for coming by and stopping by and talking to us.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Lauren Greene and head coach Greg Town of Indiana State Golf. When we take a break and come back, it's going to be time to talk with Ryan Stokes from the Indiana State football program. This is the Indiana State Coaches Show, live from 7th and Elm Bar and Grill on 105.5 The Legend. Come back to the Indiana State Coaches Show, live from 7th and Elm Bar and Grill. Big thank you to everybody who's come out tonight. Great showing. Awesome showing. Trevor holding it down there in the back, as he always is, here at 7th and Elm Bar and Grill. Big thank you again to Coach Greg Town and Lauren Greene for stopping by to talk some Indiana State golf. Now it's time for Ryan Stokes, Special Teams Coordinator for Indiana State. Coach Stokes, good to see you, buddy. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, Luke.
Oh, it's great to have you. We talked about Travis and Wyatt earlier. It was your idea, right, to put Wyatt Harwood at running back. Finally, you were the one that made the final push.
Yeah, these guys say, to introduce them as running back and safety would be better, but, I think that'd be worse. I kind of like him at punter and long snapper way much better.
Well, you can talk about it probably even more better because you see everybody, and not just terms of, the actual specialists in the room, but you work with a lot of the best players in each position group that ultimately come together and be on special teams. What do you enjoy most, Coach Stokes, just about your special teams unit this year in terms of the personalities of that room and all the guys you get to coach each and every day?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the best part about my job is the fact that I am able to work with the entire team. Obviously we have a great special teams unit with our kickers, punters, and long snappers, but being able to work with the entire defensive side, the entire offensive side, and getting to know everyone. Coaching is, a lot about relationships and building those relationships and the trust. And, the fact that every day I'm able to spend, meetings not only with my position group, but also with the entire team on both offense and defense, is my favorite part. So.
Travis, Wyatt, I know really the main leaders of that group, and we talked about their experience earlier. But to kind of carry off of what Coach Mallory said, for you, you see it too. How do guys like Wyatt and Trav and everybody within that room aren't just big to just the specialists? They're huge and they're massive for everybody on the team.
Yeah, I think Coach said it, best as far as, obviously they're really good at their craft, right? Really good long snapper, really good punter, and even, a better teammate, But the biggest thing that I'll miss, when these two are gone is their leadership. Not only that, what they bring to the specialist room, but to the team. And so, for me, being able, with Trav, with Wyatt, even with Alan, some of the guys, the older guys that we have, the experience that we have in our specialist group is awesome. And, it's something that I'm definitely going to miss, when they're all gone. Just being able to bounce ideas off of, and like I said, just the leadership that they bring not only to our specialist group, but to the entire team.
I know the mentality, kind of the mantra that you guys have as the specialist room is sharpen the axe. What describes sharpen the axe? What is that mantra that you guys have and the meaning for it?
Definitely, I think, sharpen the axe is a mentality. It's about, valuing the process over the product. And it's about the approach. It's about valuing, the little things and the little details in the preparation leading up, to your goals, whether they be individual goals, team goals, and focusing on those little details and understanding that, doing well in those individual goals, right, or doing well in the little things in the preparation will ultimately lead to, individual success, team success, and where we want to go. So that's the main thing as far as sharpening the axe is just, what's your preparation? Not doing, enough just to get by, right? Not doing enough just to win. But, with sharpening the axe is also, preparing, to be dominant. And so, we talk about trying to dominate, and sharpening the axe while doing so.
When you think of your time here, when you first came here as a GA to now being a full-time staff member, what do you enjoy most about working for a guy like Coach Mallory and really just the cohesiveness you guys have as a staff?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that kind of, steps out to me is just the trust. The trust that Coach has in myself, the trust that he has, in all of the coaches and all of the players, to be able to, do their 111th and to do their job. And so for me, as a coach, to be able to do what I do and understand and know that, I have the full support and the trust of all the coaches on our staff, especially starting from Coach Mallory is awesome.
You got to spend a lot of time, I know, with the receivers when you were in your GA spot here. To now transitioning to special teams, Kevin Abrams was just such a massive piece of what this program did in terms of its identity of special teams. What did you take away from Coach Abrams that you feel has really helped you kind of just, for a lack of a better phrase, kind of carry that baton to keep sharpening that axe for you guys in your special teams unit.
Yeah, and I think, the sharpen the axe mentality, comes a little bit from what I learned from Coach Abrams as far as his preparation, right, and his dedication, his hard work, and his, emphasis on the little details and focusing on the little things, whether it's, preparing for a meeting, whether it's preparing for practice, whether it's preparing for a game. Nothing, is ever glanced over. Every detail is hit. And so I think that's the biggest thing that I learned from him was just the importance of preparation and in the little details, regardless of the situation.
Ryan Stokes is our guest special teams coordinator for Indiana State football. The Sycamores are gearing up for Eastern Kentucky this Saturday night. There'll be a 7 o'clock kick with the countdown to kickoff coming on with the coach Trent Miles and myself at 6 o'clock right here on 105.5 The Legend. Coach Stokes, we'll get you out on this note. You think of the improvements I know you guys want to make on special teams, specifically this week. I know the return yardage you want to see go down in terms of what Northwestern was able to produce on Saturday. But to carry off of what Coach Mallory said too, I'm sure those are things you went back and you watched. They're correctable. Those are things that you guys can fix. Just going to take some work here at practice, and I'm sure all of you guys are ready to get back out there and get that taste out of your mouth.
Definitely. I think the expectation is set, on all of our special teams at such a high level, and rightfully so, because of the talent, that we have on this team. Like Coach said, a million times, we're definitely capable. And so we know the expectation, we know the standard, and, last Saturday, a couple times, we fell short of that. But like you said, we made corrections, and I feel confident in this group and everyone that we have to go out there and to, put on a much better show come Saturday.
Coach Stokes, it's been great to see you from your GA days here to now special teams coordinator. Appreciate you hopping on and spending a few moments here with us on the show.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Once again, that was Ryan Stokes, special teams coordinator for Indiana State football. When we come back, it's time to close out the show with head coach Kurt Mallory. This is Indiana State Athletics on 105.5 The Legend. Yes, this is the home of the Sycamores and the home of the Indiana State Coaches Show. Welcome back to 7th and Elm Bar and Grill. We hope you have enjoyed the show here tonight as we close it out here with head coach Kurt Mallory before Indiana State hits the road this weekend. Eastern Kentucky under the lights. It's going to be a 7 o'clock kick. You can hear that here on 105.5 The Legend on Saturday night. Coach, I know you're going to continue to dive more into this Eastern Kentucky team as this week goes along. But this is a team that you feel like, yeah, they were good the last time we played them in 2019. But this group going to be a little bit more balanced, and potentially on the offensive side, they're going to be a lot more explosive than they were in 2019.
No question. This is a much improved football team from the last time we faced them. They're really good on defense. They fly around, make a lot of plays. Offensively, they're explosive. They've got some really good wide receivers. And their quarterback, he may be one of the better quarterbacks in the FCS, but he'll pose us a big challenge. So we'll get back to work here tonight and get ready to line up and get a good game plan together.
I know it kind of goes back to our first segment a little bit, but you always say you want to see improvement from week 1 to week 2, or game 1 to game 2 for you is week 0 to week 2, but we'll forget the terminology for the weeks in a moment. But do you feel your team did that? I know it wasn't the result you wanted on Saturday, but did you feel we got better? I mean, I know there's other areas you want to improve in, but you got better and you played better.
There's no doubt about it, we did. When you look at it, the win-loss column, and we didn't get the win, that's the obvious. But when you watch the film, there was dramatic improvement on really 3 phases. You take away the things that we really set out to do with our protection and our coverage and a lot of things we wanted to do, we improved on, and we're going to build on that. So we had a big emphasis. We made the improvements that we do, and we're going to continue to do that, and we're going to learn from some of the things that we didn't do so well and continue to work on those as well.
The key to success on first down is just handing that ball off to Wyatt Harwood, right? That's the game plan this week?
Yeah, that's the plan right now.
All right, there we go. We know this is going everywhere. So expect it, Colonels, on Saturday. Wyatt Harwood being there at tailback, starting it off. Coach Mallory, appreciate the time as always, buddy. I know it's been I know you guys are ready to get back out there on Saturday.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, and looking forward to getting out there. But, I want to reach out to a close friend of ours, Dennis Dark, and our thoughts and prayers out to him and the loss of his brother.
Yeah, we learned that over the weekend and continuing to think of Dennis and his family during this time. Again, big thank you to all of our guests here tonight on the show. Wyatt Harwood, Travis Reiner, Ryan Stokes from the Indiana State football team, and, of course, Lauren Greene and Coach Greg Town of Indiana State Golf. For the head coach, Kurt Mallory, I am Luke Martin saying so long from the corner of food and fun. Next time you can hear us will be this Saturday night, 105.5 The Legend, Eastern Kentucky, Indiana State. Count down the kickoff with the coach Trent Miles and myself at 6 o'clock. Until Saturday, we'll talk to you then. This has been the Indiana State Coaches Show from 7th and Elm Bar and Grill.